Hi everyone, you're watching a live broadcast with me, Priti Raichura, on the Let's Chat to Priti Raichura Show. Well, as you know, last week we were supposed to speak to the wonderful single mother, Panna Vekaria. Unfortunately, due to the ill health of her little boy, she was unable to join us. But today she is going to be joining us, and I believe we will also be having some fun with the little ones live here from the studio. Let me try and see if I can connect with her. I could hear her little one earlier. Oh, here we go, and there he is. Let's see. That's Tanush. Hi, Panna, how are you?
I'm okay, you?
I'm very well. And hi, Tanush. Hi, Tanush. Hiya.
This is what he's going to be doing.
Well, a very warm welcome to you, Panna. And I'm sure we'll have sight of Kevna very, very soon. I'd just like to welcome you to the Let's Chat. Oh, here we are. Here's Kevna. Hi, Kevna. Hello. Hi. Say hello to everybody. Hi. Are you going to be joining in today's conversation as well, Kevna? Oh, I can certainly see this is going to be fun and games. I'm sure all of you are able to see this is going to be lots of fun and games. Thank you very much to Panna for joining me here today. I know that it's quite a controversial topic that we're going to be talking about today. And I'd just like to thank you for joining me to talk about your experience. And of course, you, Tanush. Tanush, hello.
Tanush. Or call him Tan, that's what we call him.
Tanush. Hello, Tanush. And Masi Kathy is also there to help babysit today, isn't she?
Well, she's got to babysit her child called Shavan at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Panna, welcome to the chat. I just want to know a little bit more about yourself for the benefit of the people that are doing this live.
Yeah.
Tell me more about you.
I'm a single mum of two. I'm 43 years old. I live in lovely old Brent, Desi Central, as they call it. I work in the family business. God, what else do you want to know? I'm just trying to.
I know you're very active. Well, I can see you're very busy as well. I know you're very active with the Hindu Forum as well. I know you're a single mom, like you said. Now, I've known you for many years, and I've known your family. Your sister's been on the show as well, and talked openly about how she had a lesbian wedding. Today we're talking about you. You decided to have 2 children, but you're not married, and this is kind of unheard in the Asian community.
Can I just get rid of my son for a little while? Kathy, because he's going to get rid of he's going to turn everything off, and then everything's going to be
okay.
Yes.
Let me just say hello to everyone. There you go. Thanks, Pragnesh Pai, for saying great work. We have Anjana Ben saying Jai Shri Krishna. Shreya, hello to you as well. Dharmesh, hello to you as well. Hello to everybody that is joining us.
Everyone.
Hello. Thank you. Oh.
This is going to be a mad interview. I think it's going to be quite fun.
That's absolutely fine. I think we kind of knew this, didn't we? We have Sushma as well joining us. Hello. Nisha, good on you, Panna. You're amazing mother. See, Tanush is trying to get attention again. Yes, well, we'll talk about him and his attention. See,
and he's actually going on a date when he's 18 with his Nisha Masi.
Oh, is he now? Okay. There you go, Nisha Masi. He's taking you on a date. So going back to you then, Panna, are we good to talk now?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah. I am going to ask you to try and remain as still as possible. I know that there's a bit of a network issue where you are. That's brilliant if you could stay that way, because you keep going fuzzy, and I'm sure everybody wants to see your gorgeous, pretty face. So going back to the decision that you made, Panna,
Sorry.
That's okay. That is absolutely fine on the mother.
Man, stop.
Exactly. There you go. It's all about screaming and shouting and entertaining the children. That's absolutely fine. I know we tried to connect with you while they were in a separate room, but the signal was really bad. But going back to you then, Panna, at what stage in your life did you know that you wanted to have children and yet stay unmarried? Because that's kind of unheard of. Lots of people have children and they're single parents, but you chose a slightly different route.
I think it was one of those things that it got to a point, as in, you know, like you had the whole like this one introduces this boy and this boy and this boy, and it was just like, oh my god, I can't deal with these. I mean, I've, you know, so many times, you know, I did the whole like meeting this boy at this uncle's house, and you know, turn around, oh, Friday night I go to the pub with my mates, and I was like, really, you're gonna be in a married life? You do not need to do that on a Friday night. And you know, and then one person was like, oh, you know, once we get married, we're moving to America, and I was just like, I can't leave my life, my community, my family, everyone, just to give up and just move to a new country. Yeah. And it just like, I know my dad, you know, my dad passed away in 2013, so 7 years ago. And it was one of those things that I was just like, Dad, you know what? I want to get married, but I really want to become a mother. And, you know, amazing nieces that were born during that time. So it was literally like, I'm getting all broody, like, oh my God, I really want a child now. You know, like I've got 3 nieces, I really want this. And then more nieces are coming. And it was like, right, I really getting this broody sense coming into me. And it was like a decision that I kind of took around 2013, early in the year. And I was going through like, you know, appointments with my doctors, and I was going through menopause as well. So there's a lot of things happening at the same time. My family GP actually, when I told him that I feel as I'm going through menopause, he goes, oh no, you got a flu, because it was a flu season. And I'm telling him, and you know what, I'm not feeling good. I'm tired all the time. You know, like my monthly cycle is like up there. And he just, you know, they just stopped it off. And the family doctor, he's known me for like 30 odd years. You know, so it's like, no, we don't go for menopause. You know, we're Indians, we don't do that. And then I told my dad, I go, Dad, look, he's
not joining us, by the way, but yeah.
I think he's retired. And then I spoke to my dad first. With my dad, I had a relationship, like I can discuss anything with him. So I had a one-to-one with him. I said, look, Dad, I want to make a decision of having a child, using a donor, so nobody knows who it is, because I just want to have a baby. And I go, you know, you want to kind of go to India as well. You know, you're planning to have semi-retirement. So it'll be nice. And he goes, you know what, whatever you do, I'll support you. So it was really nice. And then I go, Dad, should we have a family meeting to tell the family what the decision is? Because I don't want to be pregnant and then tell the family. So around, I think February, March, we invited like, you know, close family members, not extended, like very close family members. And I just told them, I go, this is the plan. My mom, my sister, you know, my dad, everyone's supporting me. And, you know, this is going to happen. There was, I think, 1 or 2 were a bit like, oh, what's the harm going to say? What's the community going to say? And it really upset me, because I'm not doing it for the community or the Gham. I'm actually doing it for my family, for myself. I want to be a mother, and I'm fed up with looking at checking boys out and all this. And people say, you know, it's just like, you know, I want a family. Be it I have it if I'm married, be it if I'm single or something happens down the line. I want to be a mother. I'm going through this whole menopause phase, you know, so, and it really upset me. And then, you know, I just walked out the room, had a little cry, just like, you know, I was like, and then everyone, you know, my sister, my cousins up, you know, Panna, it's okay. You know what, we're going to support you and everything. You will get a few who will have that. So 2013, you know, so I'm starting all my treatments, you know, and it was like injections and, you know, so much stuff you take. You know, my hormones were out of the world. Like, you know, there's one time I'm amazing, and then another time I can just be really horrible. But it was just like, and there are times like I just literally just go from there and I'm dropping just down. Like I just really, this is not working for me and all that. And then Dad passed away in November 2013, and it was just like, oh, you know, the whole time I'm going, he's going, oh, when am I going to become a granddad? I go, Dad, it doesn't happen overnight, you know, because my step is different. I'm going to clinics, you know, all these testing you have to do. So when he passed, I actually gave up because I felt like, oh, he's not there anymore. And I think probably again, friends were having babies, and then I was like, right, I think I need to look at this step again, you know. And I moved into my own house as well, so I was like, okay, I'm comfortable and I'm saving, so let's look at this whole steps again. I went to one clinic in London, in central London, and I clearly told them, oh, you know, my FHS levels, which is hormone levels, are not brilliant. And she said, oh, don't worry, we'll sort it out. You know, everything's going to be fine once you have all these medication, everything, da-di-da-di-da. So every month when you have your period, you go for a blood test. And the blood test, oh, this level's low. And I'm telling them, I keep telling you the same thing. You know, I'm spending so much money and you guys are not really listening to a patient that is, you know, and then like on a Friday, they're like, okay, Panna, I think you're ready. And I was like, oh, okay. And at that time, I ordered my donor sperm from London Sperm Bank, you know, and that was a hard process. You've got to really analyze them, you know, read about the background. And there's only about 2 Hindu donors in the whole sperm bank.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was like, you're right.
You know, how does that work? Does that mean that do you get a book?
You log on and you know, you can read the criteria what you want: brown eyes, blue eyes, blonde hair, whatever.
Oh, really? Yeah, you make your baby.
You can, yeah, you can do like that. And so we did. So you know, I found the Hindu donor. Everything was good. So Friday morning, they're like, okay, Panna, we're ready on Monday. So you need to buy all these injections to start stimulating your, you know, areas. And I was like, okay, fine. So they go, but can you come for a blood test about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then we can go from there. So done that. Monday morning, about, you know, midday, I get a phone call to say, oh, Panna, I don't think you can go through this treatment. Your levels are really low. And in my head, I'm swearing.
Yeah.
I'm on the phone, and I'm literally just like, I'm like, excuse me, but I have told you since the beginning that these levels are low. You've made me buy medication, which is literally fertility medication is not cheap. And being a single mother, but being even any female that want to go through this step, couples, you know, single, like couples who are in a relationship but not married want to do that. Fertility medication is not cheap. And I was so furious that I've got this medication, I don't know what to do with it. They would not take it back because it's a medication. So my fridge is now full of medication I can't take. And I didn't know what to do. I was just like, this is just, you know, ridiculous. And then I just told them, you know what, don't bother contacting me. I would just go to another clinic because I think you guys have taken enough money from me and done something when I've told you from the beginning what's happening. I left that, gave my body a break because the body's already had so many drugs into it because you're pumping up injections and everything. I said, I need to detox the body. I gave it like a couple of months, and then I went to another clinic in London. And they were pretty good, you know, they were cheaper than where I went to before. And they were always on the phone, you know, just there if you need any help or anything. And they said that because, Panna, you've got the drugs, you don't need to buy the drugs. So thank God I've saved money now. And I told them, look, I've got a sperm already, which is sitting at this clinic. I need to transfer it to your clinic. That's not cheap as well, because everything has to be in a frozen container, you know, nitrogen and everything. We've got the sperm shifted to the clinic. So everything's now, and we're still going through the whole menopause phase and everything. You know, and it was quite good because they monitor your cycle. And you know, they're always supportive. They're like, you know, they even ask you, do you want to do it solo? You know, they just want to make sure like you're in that zone. You know, and you go and see a counsellor I think they just want to analyze, are you in that mental state to do it? Because it is a stressful thing having a child.
Of course.
So around 2015 and 2016, I was with this clinic. And the first time we had the treatment, I got pregnant. You know, because after 2 weeks and it was just like, okay. And I told a very immediate family that, you know, this is, you know, it's positive, the blood test is correct and everything. And I was just going back, going to my everyday life, you know, going to work, whatever you do. I was invited to go to an event in RAF event for diversity in the armed forces in Grantham, I think it was. And so I drove down, I was having cramps, and, you know, I spoke to the kid, they go, it's normal when we do a transfer, you know, you get these cramps. Okay, fine. Got to the hotel and everything, checked in. I was really uncomfortable the whole night. Next morning, I've started to bleed. And I knew straight away what's happening. But the thing was, because I was in a remote area, I had to use Wi-Fi, and I can't call a landline through Wi-Fi during those times. So I had to call my cousin, who I know is going to be up early. I said, can you call this number, emergency number, tell them what's happening, and tell me what they said. And I literally had to drive myself. I know it sounds a bit disgusting, sorry guys, but I had to use a lot of tissue because I didn't carry sanitary towels because, you know, and go to the nearest hospital where, you know, I had to go to Grantham, and, you know, they said, look, we're at quite a small hospital. We have to transfer you to Lincolnshire Hospital by ambulance because you are bleeding and you are probably, we're not sure if you're going through the whole miscarriage or not. There was a lovely nurse there, and she actually goes to me, you know, sometimes you do bleed and you still are pregnant. She goes, I had the same thing you're going through. So I was like, okay, that's a nice, you know, positive word someone's saying to you. So, you know, on the drive, I'm in an ambulance now, going to...
You're on your own, and you're on your own.
Yeah, so at that time, I'm telling my sister, you need to pick up my car from Grantham Hospital and then pick me up from Lincolnshire. So Kathy, is booking her ticket to get to Grantham via King's Cross to pick up my car. And they were so nice. They're like, we're not going to charge you for parking or nothing because what you're going, you know, it was really nice. Got to Lincolnshire Hospital, took me, you know, they took me straight away. But I know deep down, you kind of know, don't you? Like, I don't know what it is. You kind of know when something's not right, and you know the pregnancy hasn't held. So they, you know, they did the blood test. They go, the levels are really high, but you need to go for a scan. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I had the scan, and even the lady goes to me, you know, it's so early in the stage, we wouldn't see much. Understandable. Went back to the ward and just waited around. And the doctor, you know, they had to call the consultant, and he's like, "Oh, you got miscarriage." And I'm just like, at first, I literally, in my head, I was like, "No, beep," because I'm like, I know I'm having the miscarriage. Because I'm continuously. And you know, it was really nice. I mean, the nurses, they were really helpful. They were really supportive. But it was just like, I think, you know, sometimes like, it happens, isn't it? And I kind of like, you know, glad that Kathy came. And then on the journey, it was a bit like quiet. But I said, Kathy, you know what? I just want to eat something really naughty now. Like, I just want to eat something cheesy just to cheer me up. So that's how we went to TGI Fridays. Just to like do that. And then I think it took a while to hit me. And then I kind of like gave up, you know. I said, look, I need time off from work. Work were really understanding, and you know, just wanted that week off just to recuperate and, you know, just feel a bit like, you know what, it happens. Yeah. Title, not title, you know.
Yeah.
And the clinic gave me that. They said, look, why don't you have a few months off because you've got a lot of hormone injection, you've got a lot of medication in your body. Let's just de-cleanse it. Then they called me back again, you know, after a couple of months' time. Same, and this time I was, you know, successful again. Hit my 7-week mark, and then I had a miscarriage again. And I was just like, right, is God giving me a sign, or what is He giving me? You know, like, what, you know, what is He saying? Don't do it for now, you know. But then, but I really want a child. You know, I was like, this is. I was like, I want to defy God to say, you know what, I can do it. Don't, you know, you can test me when I have my child, but I'm going to do it. And during that time, you know, like I was speaking to someone else, and somebody recommended me a clinic in Spain.
Okay.
And she said, you know, her friends have been and they've had a successful rate and everything. So, you know, I just Googled the clinic, read about them. And I was like, okay, that's good. And I said, you know, how does it work? They go, you come during the day, and then we'll do some tests on you and everything, and then we'll go from there. So me, Kathy, and Nav, we all decided let's do an early morning flight, go there, and then come back. You know, we took a flight early morning, hired a car. So Indians that we are, you do a bit of shopping as well.
Of course.
We actually went with a suitcase, you know, just to get some oranges and croissants. You know, the oranges are nice. I can't remember if we went to Zara, but did we go Zara? Yeah, we did. We went Zara shopping.
Yeah, it's got to be done if you're abroad.
I'm sorry, I'm a big Zara fan. I'm a very big Zara fan. I'm very Indian. I wait for the sales. Okay, I don't like to pay full price for Zara.
Why?
So you know, they carried on, and I was at the clinic, so they just did a lot of tests and asked me questions and everything. And I felt like, okay, these guys kind of know what they're doing. And they turned around and say, you know, we're not going to give you all these injections that you've been taking. We're going to make it really simple because you're going through the whole menopause phase. You know, we'd rather just boost your estrogen up and, you know, line your intermedium, because, you know, where they plant the eggs, the transfer happens, it's in a lining. So it needs to be in a certain centimeter. If it's quite thin, it doesn't work. You know, so it's going to be thicker, the better. So it was really, you know, it was good. And then then I think I went in March. They said, look, Panna, so I was having blood tests at the clinic. I was in London just to get a blood test and scans to check everything's okay. Then the clinic called me. She goes, look, we're ready. We can do the transfer on this day. So I took time off work. I went a couple of days early just to, you know, like just to have a bit of a holiday as well. But tell you, Alicante is dead. It's not like the best place to really go, like on a stag or a hen night. And you know, it was really, you know, fantastic people. Went to the clinic. You know, I spent 3 days there. Walked around the town, saw the whole town in one day. How small it is, but and they've got this beautiful fort, Alicante Fort. And I just sat there, and I had my little notebook, and I just wrote little notes on what I'm thinking, and I still thought that, you know, like how I'm going to be as a mother, then also like where I am at the moment, the view and everything. You know, and then they called me like, Panna, if you want, you can go back early. We can do the transfer in the morning. You can get the flight back. And I was like, oh, perfect. I don't need to hang around, you know. So I had my transfer, and then I took the flight back. You know,
on the same day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I came back, and you know, so every other day they'll just drop me an email or a message to say how's it going and everything. And then I'm like, oh, I'm getting this funny taste in my mouth, and she goes, okay, that's like a good sign that you're getting all this taste. I was like, okay, you know, and I was staying really positive, like, okay, this is it now, this is it. You know, if it doesn't happen, right, you know. And it was, you know, it's growing really well and everything. And then they said, right, Panna, I think you need to have like a 6-week scan now to see how far, you know, how we're getting along and everything. So, you know, blood tests were showing good, you know, everything was fine. So I went back to my clinic. I said, look, my Spain clinic want me to have a scan. Can you do it? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. So I think we went for lunch with my mom and Kathy, and then Kathy came with me to the scan, and the lady standing there, she went really quiet. And this is a lady who talks quite a lot when she does my scanning. And I knew, I was like, okay, something's gone wrong because she's not talking. And she goes, I'm coming back. And she went out the door, came back 10 minutes later. And she goes, you need to get to a hospital because you had an ectopic pregnancy.
Oh, right.
So that was like, and then you come out, you know, I came out the clinic, and it's like the initial, you're like in shock and you want to cry, but it's like you don't know what to do, you know. And then you're like, at that time, you know, you don't know, like, God, right, what happens in an ectopic pregnancy? So you sit there, you're googling it, and she goes, you need to go to A&E, UCL. We'll write a letter to tell them what's happening. So Kathy came with me, and this is like, I think it was Easter Bank holiday in 2016, or something like 20, yeah. And you know, and then like Mum was, you know, we had to tell Mum, so she was like a bit upset. Kathy, I think Nav went home with Mum, and they told her. And Kathy stayed with me, and then Nav came back, and then, you know, we were laughing in A&E, and it was quite hard. And then they put me in, they found me a ward, they found me a bed with old people. So the whole night I'm listening to a lot of old people moaning and farting and so, and then you know, the day nurses were amazing. The night nurse, I was right next to the nurse's station. She was so loud. So you're just like, mate, I'm going through an ectopic pregnancy, and all I'm doing is listening to you going on and on. I go, I need some sleep. And in the morning, they took me in because they had to remove my tube to recover. And this is like, we were supposed to go to a concert at the Royal Festival Hall as well. So everything, got cancelled. I think Kathy and Nav went. No, Nav stayed with me. Kathy took Mum. So I've got company. So I've had the and I just told them, look, I just need to go home now. Okay, you've done what you need to do. The doctor said it's 24-hour resting, and I can go home and rest. So I got home, and so because I was living on my own, I said, let me stay at Mum's for a couple of days, and I'll move back home. They don't really tell you what happens after you've had the ectopic and when you've had the surgery. So I've now gone to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and something's just fallen out of me, and I don't know what it was. Literally, I'm just like, oh, do I call 999? Do I call 111? I don't know what it is, and no one's told me what exactly it is. Was it a fetus left behind, or what is it? I just picked it up and flushed it because I don't know what it is. And since then I still think about it, thinking, could that have been a fetus that I could have buried, or done a little puja ceremony to it, or waste product? I'll never know. And then I just, then I spoke to the clinic. I said, look, I just need a rest now because I'm just like, it's not happening, and I just want to think about it now, if I want to do the treatment or not. So they were really good. They were really supportive, and they'll call me, and then randomly they'll just send me a message and go, how's it going? So I think I'm ready again. But at the moment, I've got 26 is a busy. We've got a family wedding, and then she goes, oh, why don't we do it in a procedure that you come after the wedding? So it was my mama's son's wedding. So it was quite good because you're busy, but you got to make sure you take all your medications and everything. And I don't know, I just felt like, okay, this is it now. This is the fourth time. They used to say third time lucky. I think it's the fourth time. So we had the wedding ceremony. So I've enjoyed myself, everything, and then I think on Monday morning I left. Had my transfer, so they were really nice. They gave me a bed and everything because they knew.
So this is back in Spain.
I went back to the same clinic. They go, Panna, we've got a room ready for you, so you can have a rest and everything. And it was really good. So I had a room with a shower and everything. I didn't take anything with me because it was a day trip. I stayed the whole day. They did my transfer and everything, and then I flew back, and then I just went to every day. But before I did, I forgot to mention the most something that I really did is something that people never heard of. It's called Arvigo therapy. Arvigo therapy is such an amazing thing. It's not only for people who are trying to have a child, but it's also for women who have monthly cycles, have cramps, who have anything to do with the female reproduction. And I went to this lady before I had my transfer actually. And she really taught me how to self-care in the reproduction area, like how to massage around my belly button, stimulate the blood flow, and then they should do cranial therapy. So I'll literally knock out. She's touched my head, and I'm just knocked out for 15 minutes. I've gone to sleep. And then she gives you a special oil, and then she go, right, you do it yourself. I've had a vaginal steam.
Really?
Shaban, I'm on the phone.
It's more. I'm sorry for the gentleman that
the vaginal steam is actually amazing. It's just natural herbs. So it's hot, and she's got a little cooker. I don't know if you've seen the film Big Girl. She's got the seat with a hole in it.
I haven't seen the film, but okay.
Okay, so Amitabh Bachchan has got a chair with a hole in it. So the toilet. So this woman's got the setup. She's got like a hot plate underneath. Put hot water with lots of herbs in it, and you literally just sit there with your jellies off. And it's a natural. It's like this. I don't know how to explain it. But it's like the sensation. You don't feel it, but it's literally just helping you detox from underneath. And it was amazing. It was so good. And she's gone back to Australia, which I was really upset with. But and then I've told Kathy, I've told so many people, and even like people now who on a lot of mother face groups, and they're trying to get pregnant. I said, try and do this Aviga therapy. It really makes a difference.
So can people just do it themselves at home, or do you need special?
You have to go to, no, people are trained for it. You have to go to these people, or they come and see you, and then they'll tell you what type of massaging you need to do yourself, because everybody has a different technique. Maybe you don't have a problem in one area, maybe you do. It's a really good, it's so good. You know, and if you've got a really good Aviga therapist who's you know, clued on but very relaxed, you know, it's brilliant. And everything is all natural. It's not like adding fake, you know, synthetic things. It's all herbs, you know. Even the oil is like a base oil with rose oil and a bit of this in it. You know, it's all natural. So I had that, and then Monday morning I flew out to Spain, had my transfer, came back and continued everything. Did my pregnancy test, 2 weeks pregnant. Yes. Okay, Panna, you can do this. Everything's going, you know. Got to the 3 month mark. I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm pregnant. I'm actually now officially pregnant. I can tell everybody, and then I had to tell my GP. I had to also tell my diabetic, because my family's got history of diabetes. So it's got monitored. So then I was at St Mary's Paddington Antenatal Clinic for my diabetic clinic. And I was actually pregnant.
Wow.
It was just like, I had no morning sickness. I had no symptoms.
Oh,
you know?
really?
Yeah, it was like, the only thing I had was swollen feet and sore breast, but that was it. Everything else was like, God, I'm pregnant, apart from the diabetes. Like,
And you enjoyed your pregnancy. No cravings? Any cravings?
No, that's the thing. It's like, I just find it really strange that I had no cravings. Everyone's like, oh, Panna, Kathy, I hate aubergine, right?
Oh.
Will not eat the stuff. She goes, what, when you're pregnant, you're going to be craving it. I had no cravings. I had zero cravings of anything. It was just, it's just so strange, isn't it? Like, you would think being pregnant, you want to eat something. And then so we're happily pregnant, and then closer to the time is like, you know, Black Friday, so you're going to do your shopping or pushchairs and prams. I didn't do anything fancy, you know. Luckily, I went around. My cousins gave me a cot. I bought a cot. I bought a swing. You know, somebody said, "Panna, look, we've got a cot. We're not using it." I go, "Look, I don't mind paying for it. Give it to me." Fine, done that. The swinging cot. My cousin gave that free. Rose's basket got that free. So I was like, you know what? I'm saving money. Somebody goes, "Panna, I've got like a changing tray and everything, a dust nappy bin." I was like, "Yeah, you go. Here's 50 quid," and I got so much stuff. I was like, you know what? I don't need to go and buy new stuff when you've got an amazing family, but even their friend circle, like, literally trying to say you can have this. So come to March, I've taken my maternity leave early, slightly early. So, and that year I'm turning 40. So 2017, I'm turning 40 at the same time. So I treated everyone at work for food, and they got me a surprise cake, which was really nice. And then I think on a Tuesday, Kathy had an appointment with one of the hospitals near Uxbridge for her. So we took her there, and then we had afternoon tea. You know, we had like, I bought cakes from Waitrose, and we had this tea, everything really fancy. And then in the evening we had kidney beans and stuff. It's like, this is a trademark. Everyone's gone. Then the next day I had my diabetic clinic, so off I go driving, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm late. I need to get to the appointment. So I get there. She goes, well, stop it. And they're like, oh, you've got a bit of protein. Your protein levels are a bit high. And I was like, oh, great. And they're like, can you just wait till it's your blood pressure? I go, look, my blood pressure's high because I had to park a mile away and run to my clinic. And then she's like, okay, just wait a little while. So blood pressure's still not dropping, so it's high. And my protein level was still, you know, +2 too. So they're like, look, you may need to have your baby. So I'm like, I'm not having my baby here because I booked. I actually have my children privately. I did it. You know, I saved enough that I can afford to have my children privately. My consultant private. So I'm now emailing my consultant saying, right, this is what the antenatal clinic has said. You need to call me ASAP. So I'm 2 hours. I'm now sitting in my clinic, and they're like, okay, Mr. Vekaria, please come in. Okay. So I've got 3 people in the room and me. And I'm like, come on, phone ring, consultant ring. You know, like, I'm just waiting for people because I'm not going to go into St Mary's for my baby. And literally, they're about saying, Miss Vekaria, we're just checking you into the maternity ward. And he calls and they're like, hello, I'm so and so, and yes, she's going to be checking into. And literally, I'm now telling my family, Kathy, I'm now getting into Linda Wing because the baby's coming. What I've been told. But it's afternoon now and I haven't eaten, so I check into Linda Wing, is when I had my daughter, and you know that all of Prince William and Duchess of Sussex had their children there. So I didn't bump into anyone famous, you know. I thought I would. Yeah. Famous enough.
Yeah, of course.
Literally, the doctors at Panna, you're not gonna have so it's emergency. I was having preeclampsia, but he goes, let's monitor you overnight and see how your blood pressure goes. And then in the morning, like 8 o'clock, he calls and he goes, right, I'm coming in an hour. You're having your baby.
This is your consultant. This is your private consultant.
The next day, the private. So now I'm calling Kathy, going, you better get to the hospital because this baby's coming in 1 hour, right? Yeah. Nobody's turned up. So there's me. I go, my sister's coming. Can you get everything ready? She is coming. When she comes, just get everything ready for her, you know? Yeah. They had everything ready for her. Yeah, but has such a good doctor, everything. It was just like, the midwives were absolutely amazing for me. And I had my cesarean, and I got Gevna straight away on my chest, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, so I'm actually a mom. Like, I've got this child. Like, I didn't know. And then they took her away. They cleared her up and everything, and then me to the ward. And I turned up in the room, and everyone's up. So I was like, yeah, sorry, you guys, the baby. Luckily, I am camera with me, so I've got pictures. Took pictures of everything in the theatre. Yeah, but it was just like, wow, I'm actually a mom. It's happened, it was like, and then there's so many people coming in, so many visitors, and it's like, everyone.
Just 1 second, Panna, just 1 second. Try and remain still, because I'm losing you and you're going robotic. That's it. Try and remain still as much as you can, because we're just losing you a little bit. Okay. Because I'm sure the people are wanting to hear all this exciting bit when the baby's born. Because you're very robotic. I'm sure Kathy, who's just messaged as well, can see that it's not very clear. The screen's not very clear. It's very fuzzy. Yep, I'm getting you back now. Stay there, stay still. That's the problem with this software that we use sometimes, but it's the best one at the moment, I think. Okay. Oh, we're going again. But carry on, we can hear you. I'm sure everybody else. You
guys don't need to see me. You can hear my story.
We want to see you. We want to see you. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, there was so many people just turned up that day. It was just like, wow. And she was tiny, and it was like such a delicate. It was like a delicate flower, you just got to be like really like, wow. Everything was gentle, and they were teaching me how to bath the child, and I mean the poos they do in the beginning was just disgusting. But because she wasn't putting on weight, I wanted to breastfeed as well. So she wasn't. So I had to do a combi food with her. So because she wasn't putting on the weight, so she was on Nutriprem and breastfeeding. But it was such a. It was like a journey. It was like amazing. And like when I came home, like having badana rotlo, and like I told them do not make ringa nusak. So it was like methi dil nusak, or like simple foods. And at the time, I don't want to eat all this. I want to eat like proper like naughty food. I want to eat like greasy food. Family matching. But I did good. I had a lot of gatlu and karo, so magnu pani as well. So I did do a bit of it. Yeah. And it was really good. But then Gevna got ill again, so we ended up in Illingdon Hospital. This is when she's still like new, as I say, she was still freshly born. So she was in hospital for a week on antibiotics. So she had some infection or something. and then we came out, and then come to Easter bank holiday. We're at Northwick Park again because she's ill, and the doctor's like, she needs to put on weight. She's not putting on weight, and she goes, I want to see you on Monday. So on Friday we were like, right, we need to feed this girl, because on Monday if she's not putting on weight, they've got to admit her again. Religiously, we're literally giving her Nutripen, like non-stop. Monday she put on weight. We're like, okay, fine, perfect, we're happy. Now she's, a 3.5-year-old nutcase, very chatty, very chatty. It's like, can you have a time? I literally have to do this. Time out. You need to have, Mummy, can we do this? Can we do that? But she's quite good. She's really, she's kind of learning like what a girl does. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And then because I had some embryos left in Spain, I was like, right, let me. I don't want to have a big age gap because I'm not going to get any younger. But the thing with Gevna was born, it was really weird because every like, the 16th day, Chatina Divase, it was Ram Navami.
Oh, okay.
So nice. Like, and then there was something that it was the day of Chaitri Navratri. So everything that was happening on her days were like all religious. And then her 40 days in the world was my 40th birthday.
Oh.
Everything evolved around her, not me.
Yeah. Well, yes, I can imagine. You're not important enough anymore. Yeah.
So and then I was telling Kathy, I go, you know what, I don't want to leave an age gap. I want to do I want to do another child because I don't want to be too old when they grow, when they're like 20 or something. I want to be in clubs with them, when they're 21.
Yeah.
And so at 2018 June, we went to Spain. We did a family trip because Kathy was getting married as well that year. So we said, let's do a family trip before you become married, and you won't have time for us. And at the same time, we did I did my transfer again. So during Kathy's wedding time, I was very early stages, like her Mando day. I got my results that I'm pregnant, so it was really good.
Yeah.
The whole like her wedding time was like. So we had to tell very close people during her wedding time. So just make sure I'm not lifting anything or doing something stupid because I have a habit of doing that.
Yeah.
And it was just like and then like during that whole beginning, the first trimester, if someone's having anything to do with milk or paneer or cheese, I'm just like,
oh, really?
I was like, oh, go away. I'm literally sick. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with me? Because, okay, I'm pregnant, but literally, why am I pregnant when someone's just making chai or something? I can drink chai, but when it was milk or cheese or anything, it would make me sick.
Oh.
And it was just like, God, but my second pregnancy was tough. I was really big. I mean, the build up to him, I was like, when it came to because at the end of the year, it was my Bapa's daughter's wedding as well. So I'm like Humpty Dumpty, and everything.
Yeah.
And I had to really, it was really good. Both my pregnancy and my diabetes was very controlled. Like, even they were like, this is really good. They didn't have to increase my dose of insulin or anything, which was like, and I don't know what, maybe I was doing something a bit more better. I think, or maybe I was just older. I'm understanding the whole diabetic lifestyle.
Sure.
And then come to January, and I've taken, I took my maternity. I had holidays left, so I kind of took my, maternity leave from January, and like I was in and out of hospital before. Was it Boxing Day? I ended up in hospital because I couldn't feel him kick. Yeah, was it 10th? Okay. Yeah, so 27th. So I ended up in hospital. But they're the consultant, same, Linda ring, and they go to me, oh, Panna, you have to have your baby today because you are like, he's breached and everything like that. And I'm like, my baby's not due until like, end of January. And then we'll just give you the steroid injections, which are the most painful thing you can ever have in your life. The steroid injection is to develop the baby's lungs, and they give it to you in your backside, and you want to scream the house down. That's how painful it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it is so painful. And I had to have 2 of these. And then he goes, But when you have these, it's going to really, your sugar's just going to go whoosh. What happened? My sugar went 25, and that's me not even eating chocolate. So they're like, right, you can't have your cesarean because we need to control your sugars. So literally, I was in hospital for 4 days, pregnant, and Kathy and Mum and everyone, and Nav, everyone looking after Gebna. She's still quite young then.
Yeah. How old was she then?
She was 2.
She's just 2, right? Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, was she 2? Yeah, 2. Even I have to think. No, was she 2? She was 1. She was 1 and a bit. Yeah, she was 1 and a bit.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Because she's 2 in March. But luckily, like, everything was okay. But then it got to a point. I said, Kathy, I'm really struggling. I feel as though like the baby's head is like going to fall out any minute. You know, there was one day I was just standing there and my water came out. I was like, hey, I think my water's broken. Like, I don't know what water, you know. Yeah. And then I was doing contractions. And so we're like, right, ended up back in the hospital again. Everything was false. Go back home. And I was just like, it was so, I don't know. It was like, I think it was lots of stress during that time. And Kathy spoke to Million, my consultant. And then I said, look, I want my child on the 23rd of January. I go, I can't do this. It's too hard for me. And he goes, why 23rd of January? I go, because my dad passed away on 23rd of November. My Gebna was born 23rd of March, and then this one was born 23rd of Jan. So it's kind of like a little number that I remember. Yeah, and then but with them, so I had an elective cesarean. And this time my sister made it with me.
Lovely.
With me in the morning. On a little Uber trip. Nav and Mum dropped Gebna to nursery. Yes, you can. You know, they took her to nursery and everything. And Kathy
and she went to Thomason. If the baby comes today, you have to come and get me.
Oh yeah. So Gebna was like, you better pick me up, you know. But I found out why Kathy never actually made it the first time round.
Oh, okay. Was she?
No.
What was she up to? Or shouldn't I ask? Is she gonna kill you?
Kathy has a habit. This is my sister, everyone. Has a habit. After she comes out from the shower, she likes to sit in her towel and air dry her body.
Oh, okay. I know lots of people that do that.
When her big sister told her the baby's coming, she decides to still air dry herself when her wife, or well, her partner before them, is telling her you need to get to the hospital. But no, it's fine. She's not having a baby. Yeah, so this time around, she did not have time to air dry herself, and
and she rushed like she should have.
We were both together, luckily. We checked in, and you know, my midwife that looked after me, like she was. Even when I was there for 4 days before the New Year, she was amazing, literally the most amazing midwife. And it's so funny because they all remember me from my first child. They're like, we remember you because you know chocolates, and I'm talking about everything. And then we go into theatre, and you know they've kind of like drugged you up as well. So I went, Danush being, you know, coming out of me, and I'm talking about Guinness because I really wanted a pint of Guinness.
Okay.
Talking about Guinness that whole time while I'm having my child. So my child's probably thinking, why is Mummy not thinking about me? She's talking about Guinness. Yes, but it was really. And Danush was he hyperventilated, so he had to go straight into you know, near NICU with a CPAP, and also he had a bit of sugar problems, and he had an infection as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so we went, but Kathy went to go and see him. I couldn't because I'm numb, so I can't feel anything. So I got to see him the next day, and they were like, "Oh look, we'll take a porter. We're just talking. We'll take a porter. We'll take you to." This is my old, by the way, everyone.
Hello. So this is Kevna. Hello, Kevna.
This is lovely Kevna.
Hiya.
Hi.
We're talking about you, Kevna. So in terms of, obviously now you're a mother of 2.
Yeah.
You've you know, just given us an outline of your kind of process that you went through to become a mother.
Yeah.
You felt, and it sounds like it was true when you knew yourself you were going through menopause, even though, you know, the medical, you know, experts that you were talking to, they were saying, no, you're not going through menopause, but you carried on saying, no, I certainly am. And you kind of you had to also not just fight against the medical profession, and you had lots of ups and downs. But tell me more about kind of like the changing behavior of the Asian community.
You know what? I think it was for me. I was doing it for myself and my family. I wasn't doing it for the community. I go, let them gossip, because that's what our community does, right? They love to, even though they don't even know the story, they like to gossip.
Yeah.
When I had Gevna, literally a rumor went that I got knocked up by an army person, because I was quite involved with the armed forces. I was in the reserve, so and then literally we were all laughing, and I knew who it was. So I texted that person. I said, "Why don't you call me instead of spreading silly little rumors? So what if I'm hanging around with army people? They're actually my friends,
Of course.
But I mean, there was one point I was told, why don't you just get married to someone to have a baby?
Oh, would you have done that? Would you have done that?
No. I'm not going to ruin someone's life because I want a child. And I was quite hurt, because it was like, you're saying this because society going,
but that's what
and it was just like, you know what? I don't care what people. I literally do not care. I know who are going to be there for me and who's going to support me the whole time. And and these people are still there with me. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call from India. Let me just turn it off. It's a WhatsApp.
It's all happening on today's program. I'm loving this. Gosh,
And and when we had I think we had there was a big Havan at our Samaj by Samiran Gurukul. They all they had a big Havan, and our family business supported the Havan and everything. And Gevna was a baby then, and nobody said anything. They were more like, oh, we want to see her, and it was just, and there was a lot of positive came out of it. And during Gevna's, when I've had the story came out, Asian Voice published an article about it, and then people were sending me messages via Facebook, and it's so nice, because a few people actually I've just given them basic, what I've done and everything, and some of them a couple, I think I introduced them to the clinic, and they actually came back to me this year and they said, Panna, we've had a baby boy. So it was like, wow, I just gave like very small advice, and it made a difference. Like, she's finally become a mother, and they went through so much, and now like I've got somebody else that really wants to do what I've done, like be a parent. A landlord, he messaged me, goes, my daughter wants to do the same thing, and I'm just like, wow.
So do you think times are changing because you're Panna, you're also involved with the Hindu Forum quite a lot. Your father, who I knew very well, your late father, Arjun Vekaria, and I know it's his birthday today as well. So we are going to, I've got a candle here that I'm going to light.
We've got the candle already burning.
We're going to celebrate his birthday in a little while. And he was an ambassador for like Hinduism, Sanatan Dharma. He believed in pushing young people, to do well, because I was one of them. So I still remember him very fondly. And in fact, when I started working on the radio, and he was actually the one that pushed me. He was like, you've got it in you. You carry on. And he would actually hold my hand sometimes when I felt really nervous, and I would pick up the phone and I'd fatherly figure. And, really, really nice, really, really nice guy. And I'm so glad, in terms of when you started off telling us your story, you said that, the first person you spoke to was your father, and he kind of said that, he's behind you, he's supportive of whatever decision you make. Do you think, though, times are changing? Because it's very, and I totally understand it, the fact that, you don't want to get married to somebody just for the sake of having children. If you can't find that ideal partner, then actually you don't want to just get married and then end up with a divorce a couple of years down the line just because you got married to somebody who's not compatible, and then you've got a child that can potentially end up a little bit confused and have that whole trauma about their parents splitting up. you know?
Yeah, I think times are changing. I mean, if you look at it now, I mean, there's a lot of like relationships that, you've got Indians marrying non-Indians now. It's happening now. Like times are changing, and I think what it is also it's not a social. It's not. You haven't got the cultural stress anymore. The traditional stress, like you have to marry this and people are opening up. They're going. The bubble has popped. Really, the bubble has popped. That you know what. As long as you are going from here, from your heart, and that people are doing the same, do it. If you want to be a single parent, and just get the support. Just find. It's like I'm so glad that I could open up to my dad and tell him what I want to do. I mean, if he turned around and said, "No, nothing around or I'm past it," then I would go, Dad, explain to me. But he was so open about it. And every time I go for a blood test, it was like, so my granddaddy, I go, Dad, it was only a blood test, and if you've got that family support, it really makes a difference in your life. And people are opening up. I think a lot of ladies out there, I think they just come to a point as in there may be a man out there for them, there may not be, or there may be a boyfriend out there, but their personality just wants to become a mother.
But what about those girls that can't afford to have the treatment that you had and yet die to become a mother?
From what I'm reading, just like randomly, is I think NHS do help if you're at a certain age to be a single mom, single parent. But there are a lot of clinics out there, literally for anyone who wants to go through it, you have to do your research. The research is the most important thing. Don't just turn up to a women's clinic or this clinic or this clinic. Read about that clinic. Find someone who's used that clinic and find out, how much it was costing and everything. Don't just say, oh, I'm going to go to this clinic and then go, oh my God, I spent tens and thousands of pounds and just got to another clinic which would have been cheaper. And one thing I would say is if you are still single and you're at that age like 35 plus, but you still even have a regular period, maybe think about freezing your eggs. Just even if you just freeze your eggs, and even if you had your menopause, you can still use your eggs and get them for, get the sperm donor, whatever they can do in the lab. It's better. It's so much. You're at that age that you can freeze so many eggs. Even the medication the clinics advise you to stimulate your eggs. You'll get that. You've got eggs in the freezer. So if something happens, you've got it. That's the thing. And then all you're doing is paying a yearly storage charge.
Sure.
And it's and somebody's. I've had people say that. I go, look. If you're 36 and you feel like you don't know if you're going to have it, I go, just go freeze your eggs. Just go and do it. If you just save enough, find a very good clinic, a very reliable clinic. Not aggressive. I'm not just going to steal your money. Find out how much the yearly charge is and everything, and then just go and do it.
Go and do it.
I mean, I said that to Kathy as well, and luckily she did that. And it's such a good thing. Like you. At least now you don't need to worry when you're 40, like, oh my God, I'm now starting my menopause. Oh, but how am I going? And then you can. Oh wait, I've got some eggs in the freezer.
Sure, yeah. And there's lots of different ways of having a baby. You could have, like how you had a baby through a donor, or some other woman can have a baby for you, but using your egg and then.
Well, the thing is, UK don't recognise surrogacy, so you can't do it yet. India has stopped it now.
Right.
I think it's more in America that they can do that, but it's
but then you miss out on that whole process, don't you?
Yeah, but sometimes some people can't carry. That's what it is. But it's all go and find out what is
and it's what suits you,
isn't it?
Yeah, and it's what suits you as an individual. Yeah. So in terms of a male role model, then. Do you have a male role model?
What?
Do you even think that they need a male role model? You've got a son and a daughter.
they've never asked. There's never questioned. I mean, Gevna's had she, there's always why, all that. They've never questioned it.
So to them, this is just normal.
Yeah, it's normal. Like, if she does come up with it, no, but she knows I'm a mum and a dad.
Okay.
So she knows that. She'll be like, you're my mummy and my daddy. So it's totally fine. We've had, like, Gevna's had mamas and all that around, but I mean, during this lockdown, it's like, Donald hasn't had that opportunity to hang around with male, and if he sees his mama, then he's just stuck with the mama type of thing. So it's just, I think COVID has like messed around with like them meeting more people, but they've never like him. I mean, when we all get together, we are loud and boisterous, and we're always doing silly things. And now we've got Kathy and Nav have got a dog. So it's a good like, little companion. So, no, I think, and I mean, I think it's just a blessing in disguise, isn't it? I mean, they know, like, Gevna knows who my dad is. So she'll be like, there's Dada's there. And then I told her Dada's birthday. And then she'll be like, oh, he's a star. So every time she sees a star, she'll be like, Dada's there. I go, yeah, he's watching you, especially at Christmas time. So it really, like, works. But I don't think nowadays you really need any role model. You need somebody to just, your role model is the people who are around you, or your support bubble, isn't it? That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
You don't need someone to say, be like this person or be like this person. It's just making sure like you got good surrounding, good upbringing, and even like you got fantastic. And they're not, yes, they call them role models, but you got people, on celebrities who are sometimes doing very good. So it just, you don't need a role model. You just have it. You just need that bubble is there for them, And like when I got COVID time, I got really ill on Gevna's 3rd birthday. I had to call the ambulance myself. I couldn't breathe or nothing. I had a temperature. My mammy literally came with them. My cousin picked up the kids. Kathy couldn't. Kathy couldn't do it. Kathy and Nav, I think they had something going on, so it was really like I didn't see my kids for 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
And it was so I was just like, wow. It was on a we were just talking on WhatsApp that Panna were coming right now to pick up your kids, and I was like, you know what, this is what you call family. Like they just said, like they dropped everything and took the kids. They were working from home, but Matt still babysat my kids for me while I'm trying to get my life back, my breathing back to normal. In that COVID time. When they got picked up and everything, and then the ambulance went, I just didn't sleep all night. I was like, oh my God, this thing's going to kill me. I'm going to die. I'm never going to see my kids again. I was literally at the
that must have been very scary for you as well.
It was like, God, I'm dying. I'm dying. I can't breathe. I can't, like, my temperature's not dropping.
Yeah.
Ambulance just told me how much paracetamol can I take in my lifetime? I need to see my kids. I need to go and kiss them. Okay, have I done this for them? Have I, everything's just going around in my head. Tuesday morning, I just woke up. I said, you know what? COVID is not taking my life. I just literally, even if it was so difficult to breathe, I did everything slowly. I took that step. One step was like the most hardest step I've ever done. It took me half an hour to do my staircase, just to come down the stairs.
Wow.
That's how hard it was to breathe. And then, I'll make my breakfast and then I'll sit, watch a bit of TV. And I said, right, we've just moved into the new home. Let me undo a box. It took the whole day just to empty a box. But you know what? COVID is not taking over my life.
You did it. Yeah. You did it. You came out the other end and your kids are still with you and you're still with them.
Yeah, still hanging around with them.
So does it worry you in terms of, I mean, God forbid anything ever happens to you. Yeah. But does it ever worry you that if something did happen to you, being a single mom, what would happen to the kids?
It does. Sometimes like during that COVID time, I was like, everything goes into your head because you're at that thing, like you think you're at your death's door. You think, right, Lydia, they're taking me now. But I mean, I can't cry when I'm dead, so it wouldn't work. But I know there is. My family's there that will look after my kids. There are some family members who are not blood relatives, but are they're like family to me. And I know my kids will always be looked after. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried. And they've got two they've got loads of nutcase masses. They've literally got crazy masses. So I'm really not worried about that, you know.
Oh, I know about the crazy massies because they've been on the program as well. So yes, I am aware of the crazy massy. In terms of like any other women out there that are hitting, you've already kind of touched upon it, that, you know, if they can't afford to have their eggs, you know, go to the NHS, there is, you know, some support there for women that are probably hitting menopause, maybe early, haven't found a man yet, you know, and you don't need a man. You don't actually need a man to have a baby, but or a partner for that reason. Your advice to them, and, you know, maybe those that are finding it difficult to bring up this conversation with their family members, because there's lots of women out there in their mid-30s, early 40s, maybe even mid-40s, you know, that would like a child, haven't settled down yet with a man or a woman, and don't wish to settle down. They want to remain single for the rest of their lives, but they want children. But they don't know how to bring that up with their families. What advice would you give them?
I think it's more of how is your relationship with your family, isn't it? I mean, like you know my dad. I've, you know, with dad, I've always had that open, especially when I started my whole, like, getting my early menopause. And he'll be like, "Oh, why are you like hot all of a sudden?" You know, he'll be like, "I go, Dad, it's called menopause." You know, I mean, like, I'll just bluntly tell him. And then it was, you know, then I was like, maybe. But I think there was one point that I had to get someone who's very close to dad, just like he's like dad's best friend type of thing, a non-Indian, to get involved. So we, you know, it was me, Kathy, and dad, and this person, this gentleman. I went to the office, and then, you know, had the conversation, and that person actually then said, "You know what, some of their clients are actually doing what Panna is doing." And then you know, then we had that finished, you know, then we had, I think we had lunch and thing. Then you know, then dad in the car was like, "Why did you have to go through him? Why didn't you come to me directly?" And I was like, "But Dad, I just didn't know what your mind was like. You know, I couldn't." And I go, "I know you're so close to him, and he's like your best friend. So it was much easier for me to kind of like get him involved." And you know, that friend of dad, he's like, you know, any issues, I can pick up the phone and speak to him. So I'm not, you know, anything, I can just, he's always helping me out. So it's even if you don't have, you're scared to speak to your parents, maybe get a support from your sibling or a very close friend of yours, a very close friend, like a friend who's like a sister or a brother to you. You say, "Look, I really want to do this decision and I want to speak to my parents about it. You come with me, and just and help me." And you know, maybe that is a way to approach it. You know, you get, you know, it's like what I've done is me saying, "Oh, I've come out gay," or, you know, it's like, how do you tell parents you're gay, or how do you tell parents I'm going to have a baby, or I'm pregnant and I'm not married? You know, it's the same thing. You just need that support person.
Yours slightly different though, isn't it? So it's not like being in a relationship with a boyfriend, or maybe a boyfriend that your, you know, parents didn't know about, or then all of a sudden you have to go and say, "By the way, I'm pregnant," and then they saying, "Well, who's the father?" And you're like, "Oh, well, I've been dating someone for a couple of years. I just didn't bother telling you. Now I need to get married." That's a slightly different scenario.
Then, like I said, it's more of having that family there with you, isn't it?
And they've been a part of your process from day one, haven't they?
But you need that one person. You need that one person to be there from you, from your first journey, to your, you know, still your continuous journey. And they are the ones that you can say, "You know what, I need to talk to my family. I need to talk," you know. And they're the one that's going to come with you saying, "You know what, come on, let's go and tell your mum and dad what you want to do, your decision." And that's what it is, really. And don't care about your, you know, who cares? I mean, you know, like you said, my father was involved with so much community projects, you know, like Hindu Forum. He was the president of Hindu Forum. He was the president of SKLPC. He didn't care when I said that I want to become a mum. He didn't care. So to me, who cares what the community thinks? Who cares if your mama disagrees with what you're doing? If your mum and dad, if your family has said it and you want to do it, just do it.
Yeah.
Stop from doing it.
Yeah, and you've got that support mechanism there, because that's what you've said. The support
Yeah.
mechanism is important. You've got that, and you've got that in place. So you obviously thought all this through quite a lot, that in case, God forbid, like I said, but when you're not around, you know, there's others to look after your children. If you're not well, you've got someone there that you can pick up the phone and say, you know, I need some help, come and look after my kids. Because whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married to a man or a woman, sometimes it doesn't, whether you're just living with somebody and you've got children with someone, it doesn't automatically mean that that partner will able to look after your children anyway.
You do get that. Like I said, you know, I'm on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but I'm actually go on Facebook because there are some good groups that I like, and I'm on it. And I don't comment on certain stuff, but I just read them. And sometimes, you know, the comments, the stories I read, I'm like, you know, this woman, like a woman who's just going through, her husband just really doesn't help out or nothing. I'm like, just bloody leave him. Why are you going through this? You know, you're going through depression. You're being depressed because your partner is not helping you in anything that you do. You go to work, you cook, clean, everything, while he just sits there like a slob. And then, you know, in my head, I'm thinking, thank God I never got married. You know, thank God I didn't, because I could not be that person. I could, and, you know, it's like, and then sometimes some people do actually write that, like, just leave him, because why are you making so much effort when this person's not doing anything for you?
Yeah, of course. So would you still get married?
If I find a person and that person accepts me, my journey, my children, maybe that person might have children, nobody knows. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And what about having children with that person? So with his sperm?
No, because I've had menopause now, so it wouldn't work.
Okay, so now that is it.
If he's fine with you know, his sperm and me getting a donated egg, I'm fine. I'm literally, you know, because at the end of the day, you're bringing a life that is still going to be your child.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
You know, even if you did surrogacy or anything, I mean, someone written a fantastic article, you know, when people have done surrogacy and do they get that mother who's carrying the child's DNA? Yes, there is some really long scientific word that starts with an M. The mother's DNA does go into the child.
Right, of course.
Yeah, so you're like, wow. And you know, I was so amazed by that article that I need to find it again, because I need to just read in depth into it. It's something that I think, you know, the fertility clinics, I think, you know, people who are in that field really need to study this. Because at times, you know, like my kids, my donor's in Spain, so, you know, it's a donor Spain, and they have light hair. But you know, her character, I mean, both their characters are just. Do you
know the father? Have you met the father?
You know, like in UK, when you go, any donor, egg or sperm, but I think 18 or 16 they can go and find the biological parent. In Spain, there's no rule like that.
Right. Okay.
So they would never know. They would never know. And
do you know?
No, I don't. I literally don't know anything about.
Do you want to know?
No, I don't.
No.
I'm happy with them. I think they're happy with me, and I think it's one of those things that in Europe they would only give out the details of the donor if the child is really ill, and you have to get a letter from the doctor to get that. Touch with nothing happened to my children at the moment. But also when they were both born, I took their stem cell and placenta, so I've frozen that. So if they do get ill, then I've got a backup for them to have treatment done as well.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of things that, you know, you have to do, but this is fantastic. I mean, you know, the procedure of being fertility, you know, the from what it was many years ago, test tube babies and all that, to now, it's just amazing. And it's so nice that you can actually freeze like stem cells and placentas from your child, so if your child is ill. I mean, all these people eat placenta, you know, they make tablets out of them. It's like, no, use that placenta for your child if your child's really ill. Don't eat it. Oh, really? Does it give you energy, or is it just mind, you know?
Yeah, of course. Wow. Well, I'm just going to quickly go to the messages, because we've done lots of talking, and I know that you probably need to get to the children as well, because I know Kathy Massey is doing a great job looking after them. We have
I think one's gone to sleep and one's sitting eating her favorite makai. She loves makai.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Got lots of compliments for you, actually. We've got Pragnesh Pai saying great work. Shreya saying hello. We've already said Nisha Budia saying good on you, Panna. You're an amazing mother. And she's the one who's going to go on a date with Tanush when he's a little older. Sushma saying hi, how are you? We have Bhavna saying good afternoon. Nisha saying, Panna, I applaud you for your upfront attitude. It's fantastic that you have done what you have done. And what you say to your what do you say to your children? Where is their daddy? That's what she's actually put. But you've kind of they don't ask you that now.
She's never asked me. I mean, she sees. I mean, they're
now. Do you think they'll ask you when you're older? When they're
older, I think for me, I've said it. If they're older and they kind of understand, they have a more understanding about life and social and all that, and it comes to it comes to a time that the subject has to, and I'll tell them. But I want to make sure they're not fully mature, but they're mature to understand what mummy had to do to bring them.
Yeah, of course. Because when they're older, I guess when they're at school, when you pick them up,
they will get that. Yeah, they will get that. Oh, why have you got fair hair? Why has your mum got grey hair?
Yeah. And where's your daddy? My daddy's picking me up today. Why does your mummy only come?
Yeah, but I've the thing with them. I've like Gedna, I've always told her, I am your mum and your dad. I do, the same thing what dad can do. I mean, wait, but some dads don't even do stuff that mummy does. Yeah. I'm both your parents, and and she's fine with it. I think I just need to learn football because I don't know how to play football.
I'm sure you'll have to learn a lot more. Nisha's also sent you some flowers. Nirmala Bempojani saying, great to hear your story. Pauna Patel saying, a DIY baby engineered to your liking. She loves that. Yes, I think that's awesome, by the way, the fact that they've got fair hair, blue eyes, and you've basically...
Her eye, like Gebna, when she was born, she had like very light grey, strange colour eyes. Up until like when she turned 1, and then it went to it's quite dark. But in the summer, her eye colour changes again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's nice though. They go like a greeny hazel colour, and then they'll go back now they're going back dark again. Dhanush, he's just like his eyes just jet black.
They're absolutely beautiful kids. We've got Asha Ben saying, can you send a link to the massage? So the massage that you mentioned.
I think if she looks up Arvigo, ARVIGO, Arvigo therapy, or if she can, I don't mind if she contacts me on Facebook Messenger, and then I can give a contact of a lady that we know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for you, and for anybody else that wants any more information, just drop Panna Vekaria a message on Facebook, and she'll privately, and she'll be more than happy to come back to you and answer any questions you might have. We have Hina saying, hello, lovely ladies. Kyati, which is the Masi, saying, proud of my sister, always enjoying babysitting the nutters. She's obviously looking after the two little ones while we're talking. Sharmila Kaur saying, hello, ladies. Samir saying, Jai Shri Krishna to us as well, both of us. Pauna Mepani saying, amazing mum of 2. Minesh Takrar saying, groundbreaking stuff, Panna. Great to hear your story to challenge cultural and gender stereotypes from Jenny and Minesh. Gajol Patel saying, we are so proud of you, P. You're an amazing mother of 2 beautiful children. Nima, which is Nima Suchak, she's sending you lots of love to you. So, and we have Pankaj Pai also saying, Jai Shri Krishna. Lots of messages, lots of people that have been joining us throughout this afternoon. Thank you so much for that eye-opening conversation with yourself. I know it was a little bit difficult for you because you've got the 2 children around, but it's always a pleasure having them. I also know it's your father's birthday today.
Yeah. Oh.
And so that's a bit of mitu model, or is it a little bit of something, baby food?
No, it's makai.
Oh, it's makai. So based on that, I know he used to love gatias. And he used to like
Are you having gatia right now?
Sorry?
Are you having a gatia right now?
I'm not having gatia, but look, I'm going to light a candle in his memory right now, because that's to Arjun Vekaria. who's not with us. But look, that's for Dada. That's for Dada because it's Dada's birthday today. Oh, there we go. So that's in Arjun Bhai's memory. I'd just like to say a huge, huge thank you to you, Panna, for joining us today.
No, it was a pleasure. You know what? It's I think it's nice that people get to understand. Like, you know what? I've done it, and I'm not embarrassed that I've done it. I'm not ashamed. I don't care about anything. Everyone's more than welcome to, send me messages. I want positive ones, not negative ones. I don't want horrible ones. If you get any horrible messages, you have no idea the brutal I can be. It's you know what? I was speaking to someone today, and they go, Priti seems to be the Oprah of. No, they're like, can you ask Priti to show her house like Oprah does? And I go, I don't think Priti has a house with a swimming pool.
I'll show you my house some other time. You'll have to pop over and see my house.
Yeah, Priti's the Oprah of Leicester.
I'm the Oprah of Leicester,
Everybody knows Priti.
I just think it's high time we had some of these conversations, that's all. And it's really, really nice to see that you've got the wonderful support mechanism there. It's good to see that times are also changing, and people, you're right, people sometimes just need to sit back and listen to your actual journey in life rather than making judgmental comments. And so anybody that you're right, if they want to make any judgmental comments, make them directly to Panna, because you'll see what you get back, because she's a feisty, wonderful mother of two, and I'm so proud to have you on my show. So thank you so much, Panna.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And I hope to catch up with you and see you in person very, very soon when all this COVID stuff is out of the way. I will be.
Masala chai with no sugar.
It's gatia, jalebi, and marcha, and you get the raivara marcha with gajar. He used to love that. He used to always bring me.
We also want kitty as well.
And kitty, we'll do a kitty party. A kitty party and chai. We'll definitely do that. Love to all and love to the two children.
You.
Catch up with you soon.
Bye. Hold on, the little man.
Bring them on the screen. Bring them both on the screen.
Yeah. Hello. Commercial.
Ah, there we go.
Come and say bye to Priti.
Hi, Tanush. Hi, Tanush.
My kids are very Indian. This one loves gatia.
Gatia. Oh, well, I have to go. It's like his mother then. And hi, Kevna. Hello. Well, thank you so much once again, and thank you to your lovely children. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You have lots more makai and gatia. Thanks a lot, Panna.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was Panna Arjun Vekaria joining me from London with her two lovely children. Yet again, talking about her inspirational story. For any of you women out there that would like some more information from Panna, do drop her a message on Facebook and she'll be happy to answer any queries. You heard about her story, you heard about her early menopause, you heard about the process that she went to, and her advice on, if you are going to go through that process of wanting children, just ensure that you have that support mechanism in place. It's not an easy process, but the wonders of becoming a mother, she did also speak about as well. So do contact her, do keep your messages coming through. From me, Priti Raichura, from Let's Chat to Priti Raichura, a very good evening to all of you, and I shall see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now. Bye-bye.